Welcome back to Conference Live. I'm here with Bob Butchko. And Bob, you have something very exciting to share with us. Your company, RF Connect LLC. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this product?
Okay. Well, today we're introducing at the show here at IBcon a whole new concept in the distributed antenna system business.
Sure.
And up until this year, I think that the DAS was the news. Okay. And now the DAS is not the news any longer.
Now wait a second,
Okay.
We've had a bunch of people come up here, right here at Conference Live, and tell me that the DAS is the news, that the distributed antenna system and the small cell, and you've got all these components and you've got to work with the carrier, and it's very technical, and as a building owner you've got lots of moving pieces. So if that's not the news, what is?
Well, the news is that everybody here knows about the DAS now, so it can't be the news.
Right.
And everybody knows that, in fact, in almost every large commercial building in the United States, you're going to need some in-building amplification so that your smartphones work, Wi-Fi works, and so forth and so on. And so the market and the demand has really gone to the mass market now. It's really ubiquitous. Everybody needs it.
I mean, even right here at this show, we've got people with 5 bars on their phones, but still feeling like there's not enough bandwidth. So it is pervasive.
It is. The problem is that the way that the DAS is implemented and the way that you go about actually physically putting it in your building and making sure you have the right product and so forth is still in the Stone Ages. It's very chaotic.
Sure.
There are 10 different entities or people or companies that that the owner has got to touch to, in fact, be able to understand what he needs, where he gets it, and how he goes about it.
I mean, you've got people who need to lay fiber, and you've got people who need to provide your small cells. You've got people who need to put the antennas, and
you have to coordinate with the carriers. You're rebroadcasting their signal. You've got to coordinate with OEM manufacturers, with systems integrators, with consultants of all kinds, to in fact put out RFPs and to gather all that information. So it's a multifaceted, very difficult situation for the owner to deal with.
One of the things that surprised me when we were talking about this earlier today is that most of the time the person who's helping you as the owner is completely in line with the carrier. He's working with the carrier.
Right.
And that just felt very one-sided to me.
It is. And the reason that we're introducing this product or this outsourcing service is really to tell the building owner that he's got some recourse, that there's a company out there that's actually going to work for him, that's going to advocate for him, and from cradle to grave, take him through this whole process. So in other words, we're the first company, I believe, to put a real process around how you go about obtaining a DAS in your facility. And the most important thing is the process is very important, but the most important thing is that we are advocating for the building owner. We're negotiating with the carriers, we're negotiating with the OEM manufacturers, we're picking the right people to pull the wires, we're doing a proper design. Up front, most of the mistakes are made because people don't take enough time to really understand exactly what you need and what is the right combination and mix of technology and process, to fit so that the building owner gets the best deal in the end.
And it sounds to me like every building is going to have very, very specific and very, very disparate needs for this type of technology.
Right. Every building is fundamentally a custom build. There is no one path. There's nothing that you can apply to it and say one fits all. So you need people that are extremely knowledgeable about how to do this. Our company, RF Connect, has done over 1,000 big building installations. We know every aspect, every nuance of how to go about doing this, and now we're going to apply it by sort of taking control, by asking the building owner to outsource this whole function to somebody who he trusts and that advocates for him, and that that can carry through and get him the best deal.
Bob, tell me one place where people who are trying to implement this go wrong that they never would have dreamed of. What's just one of the many pitfalls you can fall into?
Well, one of the pitfalls that you see all the time is the fact there are two. One is that they're never prepared. They don't do the front end assessment. We have literally $1 million worth of test equipment that will come in and we'll find out exactly what we need to do in the building. Another big mistake is that they design a DAS, and they may sometimes install a DAS, and then, oh, by the way, I guess we have to call the carriers. Well, guess what? You know, the carriers have the ultimate say because you're rebroadcasting their signal in the building.
Sure.
And I've seen many times a carrier will come up and say, you didn't have permission to do this design or to put this in the building. And so then the building owner is obviously left very flat. Here it is, several weeks before people are going to start occupying this building, and the system is disallowed essentially,
yeah,
you know, by the carrier. So a lot of preparation, a lot of process, a lot of expertise goes into figuring out all the nuances of what you need to do.
I mean, you have to be a matchmaker, you have to be an architect, you have to be, I mean, there's a lot going on there. Right. So what can you show me, what else can you tell me about the process, the RF connection? Okay.
Well, the RF connection is, I don't know if you can see this, but there's the process.
If we hold it, here, I can hold it and you can.
The process today involves about 10 different touch points for the building owner. And it's really the building owner's responsibility to sort of sort all this out and figure out who to talk to and how to go about doing the DAS, right? What we're advocating right now is that the building owner outsource that whole function to us.
Yes.
We know every nuance there is to know about how to do this, and so instead of touching 10 points, we're going to have him touch 1. And we'll work with him. It's very transparent. All the numbers are on the table. Everyone knows what everybody else is doing. We do a complete design. We design it so that the building owner gets what he needs, but doesn't get what somebody really wants to sell him.
Right.
Okay, in the long run. So it's advocating for the building owner. And then we have a process. We have various steps that we take. It's a 5-step process of upfront assessment. And then we get ready for the build. We then manage the whole build. We commission it with the carriers, make sure that it works and they're happy and everybody else is happy. And then we have long-term monitoring and support, and we'll do that for many, many years to come.
And what's the economic model? Are they paying you a flat fee, or how does it work?
What we do is we judge what the overall cost of this whole process is going to be, and then every phase of the process is some percentage of that overall cost. If after the first phase, for example, we create a plan and so forth, and the building owner says, well, no, I don't want to do it, or I want to kind of do it on my own, or at least you've given me a good plan, they can not do it at that point necessarily. Right. But you know, we've been compensated for our work.
That's terrific.
Yeah. So,
do you think that in the long term it's a savings over spending, even if it costs some things to use?
Well, you know, the actual overall cost of the DAS may be a little less expensive because we're only going to give them what they need, not
right,
what they want. But the real cost savings comes from the time and the aggravation of the building owner and the building owner's associates, and the fact that they don't have to raise a hand to get this done. They basically have to attend some meetings, agree to what we're going to do, and we go off and do it. That's a huge time saving for the building owner, and they know that they're going to get a square deal because, again, we're advocating for them.
That is great. I really wish you a lot of luck. It sounds like the right idea at the right time. Is there anything else that, you know, if someone's interested in exploring the RF connection with you that they should know? Right.
Well, I'm writing a short article for the Realcomm website. Obviously, they'll view this and they can get a hold of us. Our number and name is you know, present, and they can certainly go through IBcon or Realcomm to get a hold of us also. But we'd be glad to. We're a national company. We're all over the United States. We have 6 geographic regions. We've got the best engineering team in the world, and just a lot of very dedicated people that want to help, especially in big venues.
Bob, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bob Butchko from the RFC Connection, and what a really great idea. It just seems to make a lot of sense.